I'll now try to demonstrate Delphi DUnitX utility. The first thing you can do is install the experts into to Delphi environment, the Delphi IDE. If you open the expert project, the package in DUnitX expert, you find a package which will match whatever version you're using, and just open the package and click install. It will compile and install it into your system. I already have installed it, so it won't install again. The advantage with having this expert installed is that you can just go into File, New, and Others, and then there will be a DUnitX project. Under Delphi files, there will be a DUnitX unit as well for additional test units. So if we just create a project, go in here and says OK, then we have the possibility to add it to the existing groups. I don't want to add it to this one, and I have the possibility to create unit tests as well right here now, or I can add it later, like you saw before on the New, Other, and Delphi files. There's possibility to have it create setup and tear down methods. The setup and tear down methods are called each time a new test is run. So if you have 3 tests, it's called setup, tear down, setup, tear down, setup, tear down, and so forth. And then it can create a sample methods for you. I don't need that. And then you can call it whatever you want to, shopper test, for instance. No, I don't want to say that. So now it have created a test unit which I could use for whatever, and it has set up the project, main project here, and it's a command line utility. So it can be used from automation as well. So if I just run it out of the box, it will ask me to save it. Do that, default settings, and then I can just run it, and it tells me that there's no tests, and all the tests which is not there has passed. So if I go back to the test, I can see here there's a setup and tear down function, and I can actually add a test. I do that by setting an attribute called test, and then I could make a procedure. I need to make a procedure. So like this, and call it test whatever. So in here I can do the usual arrange, act, and assert. Oh, sorry. And it actually has a built-in routine for asserts, so assert, and then I could use any of these. I can just pass or fail the routine. I can ask if something is equal, and there's of course an overload for each type, possible type, not equal, and so forth. Same, contains, and so forth. So if I just use pass here, I can use this was not good. So now it has passed found one test and passed this one test. So this here is a negative, so this message will actually never be shown because this is a negative. Only if it fails, the message in here will be shown. So if I run it like this, then it says it's failed. This was not good. One test found, one failed. So I can make another test. I can test procedure, test this as well. So I can just, in here, I can just do the same, but pass, for instance, just to show you that it a difference between the two pass, so like this. So now I've found two tests, one has passed and one has failed. So this is quite a good tool. One thing I like about it as well is that let's say there's wherever in the range there's an exception. Actually, it shouldn't be, then you have an error in your test. But let's say that sorry, race exception create yeah, error message. That's okay. So here there's we put in an exception just to put in some standard classes. Yeah. Oh, maybe we need users. Don't type in demos. So here there's an exception. The error message comes out, and you can see here that it continues even though there's an error, and you can see the message here, even though there's an exception. The message here is that that one, the exception message instead, because it never reaches this line. So if we, for instance, put it up here, which is here, you can see that it has still found two tests, and there's one which has failed and one which has an error. So it distinguishes between the one which fails like this, or the one which have an error like this one where the exception is. So by doing this, you can see the difference between the two. So let's go to a project I already made, just to show some of the possibilities with this. I have a unit here. I call it a T-shopper unit, and this unit has all this class is used to as a shopper module, so you can shop and you put items on the shop list, and you can remove item, and then you can pay. And just to show Delphi mocks as well, I have added a card handler for credit card handling and stuff, which is needed. But when you are doing XUnit test, you need to test something in isolation. So this is just to show that I can test this and make a mock, easily make a mock out of the card handler. The card handler is passed to the shopper in the pay object. So of course this is only go through the interface for this, and to get the shopper, here is a connection to the physical object. So now I built a standard project here. I just used the wizard you saw before, and used the wizard as well to set this up. So here I have a setup and teardown, and now I actually have something inside that setup and teardown, because I have a shopper interface, and in a little while I will talk about the mock-up as well, and I have some tests down here. So if we run it, it doesn't work, and that's due to the fact that I'm missing some components. So now we should be ready to run this test. So the first test I will concentrate on here is this one is test, and there's no arrangement. It's all done in the setup. So I just called the shopper, and then I shop for yeah, whatever zombie or something like that. So I'll shop for a zombie, and then I will get the total price from the shopper, and then I would test if the price is right, so to speak. So this shop calls for an amount, number of zombies we need, that's 5, and the price per amount, that's the 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. So if we run this, we instantly see that no tests actually has passed, and that's funny because. So when we go ahead and run this, it will show that all tests are passed. There's 4 tests in all in this up here. There's test 1, test 2, and then there's test 3, which consists of 2 tests, because it's possible to insert test cases where you give some parameters. You decide yourself what kind of parameters. Here is a name for the test case, and then the parameters, and the parameters up here are sent into to this this input here. So and that way you can set up test cases, and then when this one is called down here, then you can do whatever. I haven't set up anything in here by now. So if just like before, if the result is not like expected, then there will be an error. You'll see that error here. So let's just reset that. The mock, Delphi mock, makes it possible to test functions. For instance, this pay function. If I want to test that, and I don't want to use a real card holder, card handler, for instance, the real card handler actually draw from the credit card or something. So I don't want to do this every time I make a test, and then I will soon be poor. So I have the possibility to set up a mock of this. I already instantiated here tmock, and this is a type of the interface to the card handler, and I created it. So now I can set it up and say it will execute this this function here when withdraw is called with these parameters, and withdraw, it's a function here with card and price. So whenever sorry about that, let's get back to this one here. So whenever the card is called my card here, and then the price, this is the price coming from here, it's called, then I can return true. So in this way I can set up to have the card handler return whatever result I want. This one only returns true or false. In this case I want to test that everything works okay if the correct card is given or whatever. So if I just up here return false instead, then of course the test will fail. So that's roughly how you use this DUnitX utility. It's open source, and Delphi Mux is open source as well. They're made by the same developers, and I find it a very, very good tool since I've done some research on it. We actually have used it in my company for several new projects. So we find it very useful. The only thing I could say about it is that it's lacking GUI. The console is nice, but here, but I would actually prefer some application which have the possibility to set up some more information. But that's about it. So thank you for listening.